we just found over 40 cisterns underneath the ground in this location. Constantinople, now called Istanbul, has so many cisterns that the ground is basically hollow. What's below the street and underneath the structures is a master planned grid, and it's since been turned into museums, or of course, restricted to the public in the last 100 years. Every single one of these points are a cistern, a tunnel, or a substructure. It's an underground blueprint, and it's not just for water reservoirs like they keep trying to tell us. Remember, we are all told that this was a massive palace that was 2.1 million square feet. I believe that what we're seeing today, this is the basement. We know all about the Basilica Cistern, but what about all these other sites that are all located right next to this place, right underground? I am going to prove right now that we were correct all along. All the way back in episode 33, on August 5th, 2023, I said this and saw that there is a huge golf course right next to the stadium, that there are specific golf courses and hotels around the world that are covering the old world's remains. I wouldn't be shocked at all if this area was all old world buildings and completely wiped out and buried. And we now have a golf course sitting on this strange cutout land. And again in Balboa Park, episode 55, January 6th, 2024. The shape of Balboa Park's land layout is all over the place. It's a complete mess with jagged edges and, it's a perfect square with perfect 90-degree angles? A perfect land cutout, which we have shown before. How they do this with golf courses and zoos, normally to hide something that was or still under this land that they don't want us to see. We've been saying this for years, and today we are going to open this whole thing up with the Cistern of Ayatus. Here we go. Here we have the Blue Mosque and the Hagia Sophia, and right over here to the left, we have this stadium. And we just found another structure showing just how massive this 2.1 million square foot palace really was. And it's not just the foundation of a city. It was a massive palace in my opinion. But we're gonna expose this site. This piece of grass right here that they now play soccer on, or football for anybody that's not in the USA. This is the Vefa Stadium. The stadium is built directly on the footprint of the cistern. The playing surface lies roughly where the cistern floor was. The enclosing walls are believed to align with the cistern walls. They just built this place in the 1920s, literally right before they changed the name from Constantinople to Istanbul. And I believe the cistern that they're telling us isn't there anymore, I believe it's right underneath that grass, right underneath that stadium in Turkey, where we are told that some of the original walls are still there, though parts have been damaged or built over. And there it is, built over. Beneath the stadium lies what was once a large open-air cistern. And then they just put the stadium right on top of it. And then we have to ask the question, what is underneath all of these massive stadiums all over the world? You have to ask, because we all know that the sites are more than just for kicking a ball. We have covered the ball cycle. We know all about the rituals. So just ask yourself if they could build on top of the old world, or on top of a catacomb that isn't publicly documented, which we already know that there are thousands of miles of those. If they had a chance to do that, do you think they would? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your opinion. So we have factual evidence that they constructed a sports stadium right on top of the old world. It's 100% evidence. This is a theory no more. It's something that is documented and there is no going back. This cistern, we are told, covered an area of 24 by 85 meters, or 223,000 square feet, over 3 NFL football fields. This soccer field doesn't cover 3 football fields. So we know that's not true. We're also told, and they say, that the grass covered it all. Not true, because we know that it goes down 13 to 15 meters underground. This is roughly 43 to 49 feet. It's like a 4 to 5 story building underground, underneath that stadium. They didn't just cover up some concrete. They didn't cover up your local patio. This was a massive destruction project in the 1920s, and they knew it. We have to stop right here. I have breaking news. I've been making this episode for a while. It's been in the making for about a month. And just as I'm about to post this thing, they're demolishing this stadium right now. We're gonna have to look more into this as we go along, but this is crazy. Let's continue. So here's the wall right along the side of this place, where you can actually still see the bricks. Zooming in here so we can get a better look. Can you believe what they destroyed within the last 200 years all over the world? If you were telling the truth, you would never destroy this kind of stuff. You wouldn't. If you were trying to hide something, this is exactly what you would do. They have destroyed so many old world structures in the last 200 years, all over the world. And I bet these people playing soccer or football or whatever you want to call it, I bet you that they don't even know what's right under their feet. And from this view, you can see the massive palace. You can see what was once here and is now gone, with the outer walls right here. This is a 1958 photo. I bet you this wall right here, it goes all the way around, and I guarantee it. And you can start mapping out how massive this old world palace really is. I bet you it's all right under the dirt. Who would build like this underground just for water flow? Underneath palaces. So I have to ask the question, were these cisterns? Or is the real 2.1 million square foot palace, is it actually underground? And they flooded it. And the Blue Mosque, the Hagia Sophia, and the rest, are these just the tops of a massive structure? Is the 2.1 million square foot palace from the old world, is it still here today and underneath all of this dirt and houses? And I ask this because every single one of these cisterns look like rooms. They look like the same building, just like we're told that was once here. And then we find something shocking. Something that we are told is just a short distance from the cistern of Ayatus that we just saw. And we are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 146 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Doctors call it weight cycling. Half of Americans do it. And if you do it enough, you are at risk of diabetes, liver damage, heart attacks, and strokes. Weight cycling is when you lose 10 or so pounds, but then you put it back on plus a couple more. That puts tremendous strain on your organs and leads to serious health issues. The bottom line, most people need help to stop weight cycling. And here's a great way. Non-prescription lean. It was created by doctors. Lean is an oral supplement, not a GLP injectable, and the science is impressive. Its studied ingredients also target weight loss in 3 powerful ways. Lean helps maintain healthy blood sugar. It helps control appetite and cravings. And it helps burn fat by converting it into energy. And burning fat also keeps the weight off. If you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace and keep it off, add lean to your diet and exercise lifestyle. Get 20% off right now when you enter MLB at takelean.com. That's code MLB at takelean.com. I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, David and Sherry Ferguson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Edwin Rice, Charles Kruger, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glascock, BKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Double Task Homestead, John Adams, Robert Zozolins, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Jason Hochberg, Marie C., Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, C3SCOB, SonyaDane.com, James Alt, Jason Press, Miggs, Mark Chapman, Muji and Declan, Ariana Oates, Nathan Burba, Ski, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, EvelynMcGregor.com, Emily Maryland, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Ellie Annie, Seth Craigo, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Late for Dinner, Eolo Goncalves, Blake, William Richard Jeffries V, Dax Bilchek and Son, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalacro, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, GOL, Doc Halo, Kenneth Putt, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Rod Wah, Sweetest of Peas, Corbin Mechanical, VKH Bonner, Breaking Bigfoot, Road Warrior, Bruce Latour, Codrenth, David and Irene, Ivan Apoctoli, Ardra Rogers, Brazawayan, Armin Walker, Ivan Apoctoli, Maybell, When He Set a Compass Upon the Face of the Depth, Laurel L. Burnett, Hoppy John, D. Woods, John and Carlo, Bill, Vince Moreno, Flat Earth Herbs, The Lady Lacey Show, Sven Eric, Tom O'Hara, Ducks MDF TFE, A. Aaron 87, Danya Lucas, Jeremy and Amy, Annika Joyce, The Arnolds, Henry's Mom, Ed S., Earth Daughter, Norman Slater, E. Hamure, Harvey, First Class Forklift, Bradford's Donkey Wagon Deluxe, Erneho, Brian Whitaker, Trevor Cashin, David Torres, Lucy, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a little. Ipek Bodrum Cistern. It is now buried underneath a park. What? It's buried under a park. It was located, and I bet it still is, a short distance from the northeastern side of the Cistern of Ayatus. And it's unclear, they say, if it's connected. I fully believe it was, and it still is today. So let's see what's going on here. This is shocking. I don't even know where to begin with this. This is the site of the Ipek Bodrum Cistern. It is below a children's park. And we have photos of what's below this. Take a look at this. These two photos are from the Nichols V. Artmanoff collection. So take a look at these for a second, and then I'm gonna show you the next two. All right, now that we've seen them, let's go to the next two. And then we have these two that are taken by William Earl Betch from Dumbarton Oaks. And I have to say, when I first started this channel, this is exactly the kind of stuff that I wanted to see. This is the exact stuff that I wanted to know. I wanted to know, and I wanted to see what was actually going on underground. I wanted to know where the old world was. I wanted to know the real structures that were below our feet. And I believe we just found them. It is unbelievable to actually be sitting here right now and actually looking at it. We found it. The old world is without a doubt underneath the ground. The history books are completely made up stories. We aren't told what really happened here before we all got here. We are not evolving and we are not advancing. We might have evolved and advanced from the 1800s, the beginning of our timeline in my opinion. But overall, we are not more advanced than the previous civilization from the old world. Something massive happened. We are now putting parks for children. We are putting parks on top of old world columns and then hiding it and never teaching anybody about it. What is going on? We're told that they constructed this like 1,000 years ago. 28 more columns that we're told about, covered with dome-shaped vaults and an underground hall. So how is it under a park now? What happened? Right when our timeline begins, 1800s yet again, it was damaged by an earthquake. And this was the first time ever. And it was completely fine for centuries before this, we are told. And I totally believe that. Oh wait, no, I don't. And then 25 years later, it was damaged again by, of course, the Nod and the fire. A large city fire, then abandoned. A fire in this city? So now we know that they went in there and destroyed so many buildings. They destroyed the 2.1 million square foot palace, without a doubt. There's the proof. This was not a random fire that just lit up by the cow, like we're told in every city. This was a destruction project, and we know it. From the 1920s to the 1960s, it just gradually filled in with soil, rubble, and debris. For 40 years, all the soil just kept blowing over there and filling in an old world site And it's totally normal for that to happen during that time period. The 1920s and 1960s, the soil blowing era, all that rubble just came right out of the sky and fell in there. There's so much debris from the locals. It's a complete joke. 1971, they admit it. They officially filled it in and converted it into what it is today, a park. I just wish I could go back to the 1970s and wake these people up. They're literally driving me crazy right now. Filling in old world sites and putting this pathetic park, it's not even a nice park. It's ugly, let's be honest. And then they go on to tell us that the cistern's walls, vaults, and many of its columns are still there. They are just buried. Wow. The northern section is reportedly still accessible in limited form, though mostly closed to the public. Of course, people today, they walk, play, and sit in a children's park that is directly above a fully engineered subterranean hall. It's nearly 2 stories tall. We have factual evidence that the second they switched the name from Constantinople to Istanbul, something massive happened. They began to destroy the old world. An incredible location. The title of episode 143, episode 144, and episode 145, and episode 146, they're all the same. Part 1 through part 4, which we're talking about today. Istanbul should not exist. It shouldn't. It doesn't belong in our timeline, if the mainstream history is actually true. And this place actually should be called Constantinople. And what's incredible is this list that I showed right in the beginning of this episode, as well as in episode 145. Proof that we are just getting started. I gotta tell you, the Donkeys Inc. Club is growing. These are the people that would saddle up and get on a wagon. They are the ones that shipped the stone to the site and got these palaces built in a year. In the 1800s, the 1700s, and even the 500s. You guys are amazing. Again, there was never a mistake. The donkeys, they did not need any water back then. They could go for miles. There was never a mistake with the columns. It was perfect. And they last forever. An incredible group of people, and never documented a single blueprint. Not one, but they still got the job done. And we all appreciate you, especially for making the Milan Cathedral come to life. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. When you subscribe, that helps push the episodes to brand new people every single day. Thank you for liking the episodes as well. We are on YouTube. We're on Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. So right under this, we have old world columns and vaults. Deliberately hiding the old world from us in 1971. There's no question about it. So we have the cistern of Ayatus underneath the sports stadium. Where is this second cistern that we just found underneath the park? Where is this park? Oh, no way. It's literally right next to it. And they're trying to tell us that they are separate cisterns. There's no way. This is without a doubt all connected. They're deliberately burying it in the 1970s. Why do you think they did that? I believe they are without a doubt hiding that we are correct. And that is the actual overall massive structure. If you live in Istanbul, Turkey, and if you're watching this right now, I want you to know that right below your feet is a massive palace. The 2.1 million square foot palace that we're being told about that was once here supposedly. I believe without a doubt that it's still there right now. Check this out for a second. Just in this one location, there's a ton of structures that are built by our civilization, clearly. They are not palaces. But look at this shot and tell me how many palace-like structures that don't belong in our timeline you can find. I was able to find 7, just from this little area right here. And tell me if I missed one. But it shows you, if you just keep moving around this location, the overall palace that we've been told about is still there. It's just built on top of and surrounded. Let's go even further. Right here, we go to the cistern of Aspar, which is also located right here. All right next to each other. It's all connected underground. And when I saw this one, I noticed that they're trying to tell us that all of these cisterns were all constructed centuries apart, yet they look exactly the same. And this is the exact same narrative that they told us about the Blue Mosque and the Hagia Sophia and all of the other ones in the surrounding area. The same story is going on underground. The mainstream story about this area, it uses the same patterns. It's the same lie, above and below the ground. So I took this list, and I found the years of construction for as many as I could. They all look exactly the same. They're all right next to each other, and in my opinion, they're all connected. We've shown that some of them have the Medusa heads in them. Who knows what else they've found and took out of them or buried them, just like this thing that we saw in the Basilica Cistern in episode 143. And this is going to further prove that the mainstream narrative is a total mess, and it's completely made up. Of these 64 cisterns in Istanbul that we have located within this map, we were able to pin down 26 that the mainstream history told us a construction date. And now let's expose them. The Philoxenos cistern, constructed in the early 400s. Medusa heads are all over the place. This is what it looks like. And this is where it's located. You can see the soccer field right over here. All of it's connected in my opinion. This one was constructed in the 400s, we are told. So let's go back to the Ipek cistern, the one that's right underneath a children's park. These two cisterns look exactly the same. Like the same group of people built them at the exact same time. Yet we're all told that this one was constructed 600 or 700 years later. Can you see how big of a lie we've all been told? They were all constructed together. This is one massive palace right underneath everybody's feet. And I don't believe for a second that this is the only city in the world like this. I know that this is going on all over the world, and they buried it on purpose, just like we saw today. And I'll tell you what, we are just getting started.